Shabbat Shalom. You'll be hearing Josh Goldberg's new nigun. He calls it the Insomniac's nigun. So in case you can't sleep at night, this is something that you could listen to in your head. You're welcome to sing along. It's very catchy, and it's on his new album that just came out yesterday. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music.
But don't fall asleep here. It's not intended to make you fall asleep in the service.
That's all. Sing along with me. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, 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 lay. Yay, lay, lay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We welcome everybody who's here in our sanctuary, as well as everybody who's joining us from home online, as well as everybody who's going to watch us on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, who tunes into YouTube whenever you want to do Shabbat. We are excited to have Troop 244 here. Raise your hand if you're in Troop 244. And you guys are actually going to come help us with our service. So will you and your parents come on up? And we can all be very grateful that that this Girl Scout troop also provided us with authentic Girl Scout cookies for part of our to-go neg this evening. So if you behave in services, adults, then you're allowed to have a Girl Scout cookie on your way out.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotah v'tzivanu ahalik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We need to light the candles too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you very much, Troop 244. You can return back to your seats with your parents. We'll invite you back up at the end of our service to say our blessings over our grape juice and our challah at the end. It has been yet another trying week in our world. A friend of mine was traveling. Many of you know this is often the time of year where I go camping. I did not make the trip this year. And so
A number of us called those who did go on the trip who were out in the woods, disconnected for 5 days from Monday to Thursday, and said, be careful when you turn on the news. It's been a tough week. We'll talk a little bit about that this evening, so I say that as a little bit of a fair warning to the parents who are here with kids. Nothing too specific, but we will touch on the tragedies and pains of this week as we work our way out of it, but don't forget it, so that we can continue to focus on how we make this week unique and not repetitive and redundant, and not just another name on a long list of weeks and schools and places that have suffered, as we saw earlier this week. Part of Shabbat is to walk back through the week, to take account of the terrible parts and to put them onto a shelf so that they are not in the forefront of our mind as we welcome Shabbat, and to take the great parts of our week, the people we spoke with, the people who blessed our lives, the love that we shared, all of those blessings, to bring them into the forefront of our minds. And so we invite you right now, as we begin our Shabbat, to think back to the highlights of this week for you. The moments that were elevated, the blessings that you had, the surprises perhaps, the moments where you were able to be with your family, your friends, the moments that were a blessing. We count our blessings now as we begin Shabbat. Page 10, Hine Matov.
Hine Matov u'manayim, sheverachim gam yachad. 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 Sheverachim gam yachad. Sheverachim gam yachad.
Page 20, the words of Lechadodi, our prayer to welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary, into our homes, and into our lives. Please join us, page 20.
Lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad hishmi'anu, el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litchila. Lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki makur hameracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'mashcha v'tchila. Lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi nekabela. Hittorere, kiva, orach, kumiori, uri, shir dameri kevod Adonai, Allah yechila, le'chadodi likrat kahala, k'nei Shabbat nekabela, le'chadodi likrat kahala, k'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary or your home as we welcome Shabbat into this space.
Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gama v'simcha, uv'sochala, toch emune, am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing, page 26.
Yikadar, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yerotei, Ve'yamlich malchutei, V'chayichon u'v'yamnechon, u'v'chayedech ovid Yisrael, Ba'agala, u'v'zman kariv, Ve'imeru, Amin, Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, Le'alamo me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Mishtabach, V'yitpa'ar v'yiroma me'inasi, V'yitadar, V'yitali, V'yitalal, Shemei dekodesh barihu, Le'elam yinkor b'chata, v'shirata, Tushmachata v'nechemata, Damira me'alma, V'yimeru, Amin.
The bottom of 27, we pray that these words are true. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There's no place on earth without the presence. Page 28, we face east for our call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'id. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'id.
Page 31. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where will our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? For this is the hour of change, and within it we stand here quietly on the border of light, asking what lies before us. Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim. Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam B'Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Akein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbeinu V'kumeinu Mashiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת עמך
Page 34 and 35, Shema.
Shema Yisrael
Adonai
Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivud Malchuto Leolam Va'id.
Please be seated as we continue, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום אל לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On page 40 and 41, words that originated in the book of Exodus, the moment that the Israelites tasted freedom for the first time after 400 years of slavery. We're here on Shabbat, but also the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day in America is often associated with barbecue, hot dogs, hamburgers, being outside. We've just finished the Israeli holidays, the modern Israeli holidays, in which Memorial Day takes on a very different feeling, a feeling that it wasn't so long ago that people lost their lives in order that we could sing songs and have our freedom. And so we share these words, especially on this weekend. Words that recall those who've made sacrifices in order that we are able to sing. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. A song of a world redeemed, a song of peace. Page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. No tehilot, osei felet, Dora tehilot, osei felet. Malachutecha, ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zelienu ve'amaru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed.
Page 44, our prayer to guard and protect this time, to make it sacred, to share it with each other. Shabbat, page 44.
V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam, Barit olam, beni u'bein b'nei Yisrael, uti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz u'bayom hashvi'i shat
In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. And in an envelope marked personal, we give our answer. Page 46, our most personal prayers. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach uvi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara, Elayon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Lama'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav LaHoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, מחיה הכל.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה baruch אתה Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer our thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lahodot. Shalom Rav, page 60, our prayer that the most abundant source of peace find its way to our world.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol hit ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Please take a few moments for silent meditation.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thoreau once said that the price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. The price of anything is valued by how much life you exchange for it. So after services, when you get a cookie off the table, think about how much life that's worth, that cookie. How much would you give for that cookie? Or driving home, the price of gas. Can we buy gas with some value of life? Perhaps it's easier with the larger issues in the world. The environment. How much of our life do we give for the sake of the environment, or perhaps due to the inattention that we give to the environment? More recently, how much of our life are we giving away, losing to white supremacy, racism, hate? How many lives are lost in a grocery store in Buffalo? What's the price that we would give to prevent that? What's the price of undervaluing mental illness and overvaluing firearms? Is it 22, 44, 100? It seems that some things today can very easily be quantified by exactly what Thoreau said, that the price of something is the amount of life you exchange for it. So what if we hear it as a question? A question on us. How much of our life are we willing to give in order to have a bite of one of those cookies? Or to pay for gas? Or to prevent the next hate crime? How much of yourself are you willing to give to prevent the next tragedy that we hear about when we turn on the news in the morning? While you think about the price that you would give, let me help you a little bit with a formula. American author Harry Brown famously stated, "There's a price to pay if you want to make things better, and there is a price to pay for leaving them the same." Rabbi Daniel Hartman in Israel made a similar statement earlier this week, speaking more universally about the world. He said, "We should be taking into account the price that we will pay for the times when we're in denial, the price we pay for the times we disconnect ourselves from the things that scare us." And so today we're still angry about what happened in Texas on Tuesday. But have we already started to forget about what happened in New York 2 weeks ago? It seems to be our human nature to disconnect pretty easily, especially from the things that scare us, that disappoint us, that anger us. It seems that a matter of weeks go by and we've already paid our dues. And yet, the price seems to be getting higher. The connections seem to be getting closer. It's getting a lot harder to say it won't happen. It won't happen again. That wouldn't seem honest to say today. Or it won't happen to us. Which also means that the price we're willing to pay in order to prevent something is also going up. Because the price that we're paying not to do something is going up as well. This is why a lot of people lately have been saying thoughts and prayers are not enough. That used to be the price that we would pay. A tragedy would happen and we would pay with our thoughts and we would pay with our prayers. We would have a vigil, we would say words, and we would mean them, and that was what we were willing to give. It seems that thoughts and prayers aren't enough. We sort of agree on that now. Some would say thoughts and prayers aren't even enough for us to get a cookie out in the lobby. I've been one of those people proudly saying that thoughts and prayers are, of course, not enough. In fact, they're just words, we would say. But I've come to realize that perhaps part of our problem is not that we're relying on thoughts and prayers as tools, not that prayers don't work, but perhaps we're relying on the wrong ones. If you were to tell the ancient Israelites what Thoreau said, that the price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it, they'd think that was perfectly normal. They understood what that meant because in their day, they made sacrifices, physical sacrifices, every day. It was common practice in the ancient world that if you wanted to make it, you wanted to communicate with God and show people that you cared, you did it by sacrificing something in the most literal sense and figuratively. It could be a piece of bread or the first fruits of your field or a goat from your flock. But to an ancient Israelite, whether a sacrifice was a living or breathing thing or whether it was the next loaf of bread, it was all part of life because you relied on that loaf of bread. And so if you were giving up your next meal, well, you were giving up a pretty significant part of your life. Today, we say prayers and we don't sacrifice anything. We don't lose a meal because we say words in the sanctuary. We certainly don't give up anything that's living, thank God. We sacrifice words. It's pretty cheap. So,
when the world scares us, when the world shows us the darkest side, in places that we think are supposed to be the safest places, why would I think that words, which cost me almost nothing, would be enough? Over time, the Israelites stopped making sacrifices of objects, which is why no Jewish person today has any idea how to sacrifice a piece of bread or a dove, but we can say countless prayers in a language most of us don't understand. We exchange sacrifices for words. So what if thoughts and prayers are supposed to be enough? What if they're supposed to be so valuable that in fact they're as serious as an ancient sacrifice? It doesn't work if what we say is, God, please stop this violence. God, teach everyone to love their neighbor as they love themselves. God, please stop this thing that scares me. We've said that 1,000 times each. Doesn't seem to work. Doesn't seem to be enough. Doesn't seem to be too much of a sacrifice. In Judaism, there are 3 types of blessings. Words that replaced these gifts of life that the ancient Israelites practiced. The first is a blessing of gratitude. In a few moments, we're going to practice a blessing of gratitude as we say the Shakianu over Elaine and Michael on their upcoming 50th anniversary. And so when we're grateful for something, we say a blessing. We use our words and we say, God, it is amazing 50 years that they've been together. The second type of blessing, for receiving something. So when we have a meal and I eat something and it makes me feel good, I say, thank God I had that food. We might even thank God and the people who put it together. But there's a third type of blessing in Judaism. A blessing that my guess is a lot of you are familiar with, but not familiar with how different it is. Any blessing that has the words b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu is what we call a mitzvah blessing. A blessing that we say in order to do something. In fact, Troop 244, you did this for us. You said a mitzvah blessing in order for us to light the candles. See? So there's an interesting thing about this third category. The third category is unique because you say the blessing, but the blessing's not finished until you do something. When you bless a 50th anniversary, you've already done what needed to be done, and you're saying thank you. When you have a meal, you're saying, thank you, God, for allowing me to have something that was so meaningful to me and tasted so good. But when you say the blessing over the candles, or the blessing to blow the shofar at Rosh Hashanah, or the blessing to eat matzah at Passover, you say the blessing first, and then you do the action. This is a blessing that comes with a noted price. And we have to pay that price, or we haven't done the blessing. Some prayers, the most expensive prayers, ask us to pay something, not with money, but with what we have to give of our lives, with action. These prayers, perhaps, if we do them well, could be enough. They're the prayers that I hope we can be saying now, not, God, please stop this. Not something that was written in a prayer book in previous centuries, but something we write ourselves. Blessed are you, God, who has given me the ability to take action, to call my congresswoman every month, even in the months when I feel disconnected from Sandy Hook and Uvalde. Can I live up to that blessing? Not just this week, but next month and the month after, until I don't need to say it anymore. Blessed are you, God, who's given me the ability to take action, call my school superintendent,
ask that they hire 10 times the social workers currently in the schools. Can I fulfill that blessing? Blessed are you, God, who's given me the ability to take action and not forget that I would much rather pay the price to fix these problems than the price that I'll have to pay for ignoring them. So let us pay now in minutes spent, in voices raised, in votes cast, in persistence not to forget. Let this be our prayers today and next week and next month and next November. And may those prayers be enough. Shabbat Shalom.
Olam chesedi bani, yedai, yedai, yedai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yedai, yedai, yedai. You must build this world from love. Yedai, yedai, yedai. And if we build this world from love, yedai, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yedai, yedai, yedai. Olam chesedi bani, yedai, yedai, yedai. Olam chesedi bani, yedai, yedai, yedai.
In our Torah this evening, we're honored to have Ron Letterman reading Torah for us and to have the Newman's Blessing Torah in honor of their upcoming anniversary. We'll be reading a section from Leviticus 26, which is a section where God, like a parent, like a very loving but frustrated parent, says to the Israelites, "You've broken my rules so many times, so you need to do better, but I'm not going to walk away from you. Look at the rules, follow the mitzvot, just like we talked about, do the commandments, live up to the standards that I have set, and the future will be better. I'm not walking away, but you're not there yet." Please rise as we take our Torah from the Ark. We prepare to share this story from the book of Leviticus.
Ki mitzion teitzi Torah, ki mitzion teitzi Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Olam, Olam, Omi.
Please be seated. It's an honor to invite Elaine and Michael to say the blessing over the Torah reading this evening.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'dafku gam sod, v'hoyatim tom be'eretz yehudedim. Lo mahatztim v'chol gagoyim, v'chol hatom be'ther, berit atom ki, ani Adonai Elohechem. V'zacher lechem berit rishonim, asher ozeticho ohem, be'eretz Mitzrayim, lecho loyonei, achot yudim, lecho yadonoi, lechom, lechokim, anihem. Ele hakopim, uva mishpotim, v'horod asher nitzan Adonai, b'nei otom, be'eretz Yisrael, v'rei os, v'char os atnyai, b'yam Moshe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notas b'soheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
With our Torah out and our story before us, we turn to this young couple. No, you can't sit down yet. And so we get the great opportunity at a wedding to say these words that we're about to say, the words of Shehechianu. And you say them for the first time over a couple at their wedding with the hope that you'll be able to say them many, many, many more times down the road. And for us as a congregation, we're always blessed when we get to say that with a couple, especially on their 50th anniversary, although Michael said he thinks it's his 80th anniversary, but we... That's right. So on the cusp of this big anniversary for the two of you, for 5 decades of being together and the great family that you have grown in the many ways that you've given back to our community, please join us in the words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Thank you. And with our Torah out and the blessing of love and a relationship before us, we share some of that strength, the strength of our story, with those who are in need of healing at this time. We take this moment to think about those whom we know in our lives, those whom we love, who are hurting. We offer them some of that strength with the words of Mishaberach, found page 253 in our prayer books.
Mishaberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
If there are names you'd like to share, please share them as we look around the room.
Rabbi Horowitz, Kathy Meyerson. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I invite Michael to lift our Torah, and please rise as we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark.
V'zot haTorah aser tzam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael. Ami Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yadalai lai lai, yadalai lai lai, yadalai lai 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 lai, yadalai lai lai, yadalai lai lai, yadalai lai lai. Yala la la la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la la, yala la la, yala la la la. Etz Chaim hi l'machazikim ba b'tomecha mehusha d'rachiha darchei noam v'chu netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Eilecha v'nashuva Chodesh Chodesh Yameinu Chodesh Yameinu Kekidin.
Standing, page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'aliatzer v'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei harotot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu k'chomonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei Melech Machi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz V'yom hahu V'yom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo
Please be seated. We turn to these words now of remembrance, page 293. Remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. Remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were and the children yet to be, we make this pledge to remember. We make a note to recall all of those who've died serving our country, as well as this week, those who died certainly in Texas. The individuals we remember in this moment, those in our congregation that we've lost in this last month, Marilyn Walker, and those that we lost at this time in years past, Gwen Aronson, Annette Barnett, Beatrice Berger, Louis Berger, Esther Blum, Cecile Evans Feynman, Dr. Nathan G. Gordon, J. William Greenberg, Jeanette Guggenheim, Julia Hers, Sarah Kloner, Dr. Henry Kretschmer, Alan Markey, Irving May, Jeanette Meyer, Charlotte Miller, Sis Perelman, Sonia Pliskin, Yetta Rogovi, William Rosenblatt, Bibi Schachter, Belle Heimlich Segel, Esther Shapiro, Helen Schulin, Julius E. Siff, May Sigelo, Yaakov Singer, Bessie Siplo, Rose Stern, Faye Sugar, Glenore Lillian Taylor, Betty Weintraub, and Anne Blyman Zetzer. If there are names I mispronounced or names you'd like to share, please do so. We rise, page 294, as we remember our loved ones whom we've lost with the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Having connected with those that we've loved and lost, we connect with each other as we offer a blessing shared by the priests over the people, over each other. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious unto you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. We're going to remain standing as we invite Troop 244 up once again. Do we have the same number of girls we had at the beginning, or did somebody go out there and start eating the cookies beforehand?
No.
You weren't supposed to do that, right?
Nobody.
You're Girl Scouts.
I live with Finland.
Oh. You can't. You'll be the first ones to get the cookies, I promise. Who can hold it without spilling?
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת מאותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen.
Well done. All right, you can put the stuff back on the table without knocking over any candles or spilling any grape juice. Good job. Good Girl Scouts. Well done. You can go back to your seats. We invite Andrew Merriman as one of our co-presidents. Everybody can be seated. We have a couple quick announcements, and we'll conclude our service.
Magnificent job, Troop 244. Thank you for coming tonight and sharing that. Oh, we can do that. Excellent. Rod Letterman, thank you very much for blessing and reading Torah tonight. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom to everybody here and at home online. Shabbat Shalom. A few announcements. As we reach into June coming up, there's a lot going on, so try to keep this condensed. June 3rd, we have a We Sing, so please bring all your little ones to join Ken or Kathy on June the 3rd at 5 p.m. Also on June the 3rd, we have our first summer wine and welcome at 5:30. That's prior to services. A little wine, and followed by a special music Shabbat to celebrate Shavuot. And then we have Ashley Barrett was ordained, if we all know, our very own Temple Israel, Ashley Barrett, was ordained as a rabbi last week, and her family will be having an open house celebration in Wadsworth on Saturday, June the 4th. So please contact her mother. You want to wave your hand? Becky Danowski, everybody here can see, to RSVP. So that's all I have. I don't have phone numbers or emails or anything like that, so please. There's a link on the announcements, so please, or just show up, she says. Okay, wonderful. Our Shavuot Yitzchak service will be on Sunday, June the 5th at 9 a.m. Then by June the 12th, please RSVP to our amazing, we're having an amazing fundraiser for a Night at the Stars for our Mishkan that's outside. If you guys all walk in or ever come by Temple, please come out and check it out. It's being built currently. And that celebration is on June the 25th. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. We have a lot of RSVPs, and we have room for a lot more. Finally, on Midfield Days, the weekend of June the 25th and 26th, there will be projects for all ages and all skill levels. So please feel like you're welcome, and we'd love to have everybody participate. You can visit mitzvahDayAkron.com or see the brochure in the lobby for details. But it's an amazing experience to give back to our community as a member of Temple Israel. And finally, I want to, my partner in crime, my co-president, wish you a happy and 50 more years, I guess, together. Happy anniversary, happy and healthy, and to everybody here, happy and a wonderful, safe Memorial Day weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
One last-minute announcement, hot off the presses. Next week, we have a special guest that I will be interviewing, Rabbi Ashley Barrett, who will be here. You know how when you get a new car, there's like a new car smell? When you get a new rabbi, there's like new rabbi wisdom. She's got brand new wisdom next week that she's going to share with us. So I thought we couldn't, with her in town, we couldn't miss this opportunity. So next week, Friday night, she'll share with us her perspective as one of the newest rabbis in the world. So please join us as we will also bless her and wish her well as she goes to serve a congregation in the D.C. area. Thank you all for being here. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. We'll close with...
Ojivo Shalom Aleinu.
Thank you. Please rise. And then join us for your to-go neg. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Let me hear ya. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy the cookies.